We're here to talk about some of your comedic sets. You do several shows, but first of all, Revolution Comedy.
Yeah, Revolution Comedy has been around for 3 years. I started it before Trump, so I really meant it.
Yeah.
And it started because I wanted to raise money for Bernie Sanders. And then I realized, there's a lot more fucked up shit to take care of. And I don't pretend that comedy is going to fix all of the problems in the world, but it is great to raise money for things like smashing ice or like Planned Parenthood, just all of the damn fucking problems we have.
Totally.
It feels overwhelming, so I do fundraisers with comedy for it.
Yeah. And what I really love about comedy is that it really opens up the room. Like, historically, it has a presence of, like, addressing the king. You know, the jester would make fun of the king just to humble him.
Yeah, punching up.
Yeah.
Speaking truth to power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you find a lot of that in the comedic scene. And when they have that energy, particularly on your stage, you probably get some great, unique comedy.
Yeah. The thing that I love about the way I book my show is that when there's a specific issue, I find comedians that can relate to that issue.
Yeah.
And then their material is going to relate to it too. Like,
right.
I did a show for Democratic Socialists last month, and the theme was about smashing ice. Mm-hmm. And every comic on it was an immigrant or refugee or children of immigrants or refugees. So they were all able to like speak very personally about the matter, and I just felt like I feel like it's more powerful that way.
Yeah. And Revolution Comedy as a platform, it's amazing that you're putting these people together. You are the curator. Tell me, I mean, it's 3 years running. Prior to its existence, what drove you to create this?
Well, it was Bernie Sanders that gave me like the inclination that we should throw money at politicians who we want to succeed. You know, like I've been a political person my whole life. Like I've always voted, I've always protested, but like everyone else in the room, 2016 changed everything.
Yeah.
And the show was created while Trump was running for president, and just like the prospect of him running for president was so scary to me that I'm like, we got to do something here.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like a great way to get. Here's something with being a comedian and doing all types of rooms, is that I don't want to entertain every type of person. I only want to entertain people who I already relate with. Like, I'm not in this to change minds. I'm in this to laugh at bullshit with other people who agree that shit's bullshit.
Totally.
You know, so like that's my favorite part about the show, is that we're attracting an audience of like-minded people.
Right.
So we don't have to like waste our time with like questions about whether or not we should punch Nazis. Everyone in that room thinks
agrees.
we should fucking punch a Nazi.
Yeah, and I think you have a really nice place in Portland, but Oregon as a whole, we have a very, let's say, diverse way of looking at things.
Or very homogeneous. I don't know how to say it.
Homogeneous.
Super white way of looking at the world outside of Portland.
Totally.
I mean, Oregon is terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, Oregon's more terrifying than California. Maybe not as Washington. I don't know. But the rural parts in this country are terrifying.
I think it's pretty interesting as a black man who does a lot of outdoors activities. The Confederate flags north of the 45th parallel just absolutely crack me up.
Yeah. Are you like on a trail out in the wilderness? You're like, I will tread on this.
So we are coming into an election.
Yeah.
Which is why I bring this up.
Midterms.
For all the people who want to be activated, they want to hit the streets, they want to protest, like, this is the time when our voice matters. Tell us a bit about how you're preparing for the midterm election.
Well, I've done a couple shows about the midterms coming up, but this next one is specifically to raise money for Kate Brown, our current governor, who, you know, she's pro-abortion, she's pro-women's health, she's pro all the good stuff, and she's terrifying to the GOP, especially as a woman and as a gay woman. Like, that's so scary to them. And they have a candidate named Newt Bueller who he's like, their ads right now are scary. I've seen them where it's like, he's pro-gay marriage, he's pro-women's health care. Like, that's how they're they're saying that he's a moderate Republican.
Okay,
And I'm
yeah.
like, oh, are there moderate Republicans? Are
Right.
there Republicans right now who aren't voting with Trump's agenda? You know,
Right.
like when you look at Congress and the Senate, that's not true.
Right.
So like
So once he's in, he's trying to do the hard sell, and then
he's
once
a Trojan
in,
horse.
Yeah.
You know, he's a Trojan horse, and
Yeah.
we got to get Kate back in there again. So that's where we're fundraising for, and that'll be in a week from today. So we're going to raise money for her, and we're going to try to flip a couple other seats and have them go from Republican to Democrat. And we're working with a couple organizations at the show. It's like you pay $5 for the ticket, that goes to the theater and operating costs, and then we ask that you make a donation directly to causes that we're supporting for the theme of our show. So this next one is about the midterms. The show is called Stand Up to Literally Save Democracy, because
Yeah.
I feel like if Democrats don't win, then we're so fucked.
Right.
Like,
Right.
you know, because Trump has to be held accountable. And so we're supporting Kate Brown, and we're trying to flip other seats and just keep Oregon blue.
And going on with that, with your show, you contribute. You have raised tens of thousands of dollars to a few nonprofits. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I've supported probably 10 or 15 different nonprofits at this point. And I don't count how much we raise anymore because I just can't. I don't want to ask how much money people are donating when they're coming to the shows because it feels intrusive. Mm-hmm. But, you know, through coming to the show and making a donation, we've raised over 10 grand for places like Don't Shoot PDX and Planned Parenthood, both like locally and nationally. The Democratic Socialists, what else? We did a Cancer Society fundraiser and also one for a kids soccer team, like an underprivileged
Awesome.
kids soccer team, like a real Mighty Ducks kind of show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we bought equipment for like little disadvantaged kids.
That's
It was
really cool.
super heartwarming. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that they were like run by a queer organization until the show happened. And I'm like, wait, it's for queer, disadvantaged, impoverished youth? I'm all over this. Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, like Lost in Portland, Live in Portland, we're here to promote where people's passion meet their purpose. And in a lot of ways, that's what you're doing. Before you leave, you have 2 more shows that you have coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Well, I run a weekly show that's free every Thursday at the Doug Fair, and that's going on through the end of summer. It's called the Cool Kids Patio Show, and it's a free happy hour show between 6 and 8 at the Doug Fair on Thursdays, as long as there's not too much smoke in the air.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's like an hour of comedy and an hour of music, and
Yeah.
it's killer. It's so much fun. It's like the only reason I like summer. I'm an indoors kid. I don't like it outside. We've done it 3 years in a row now, and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And then I'm also hosting a taping for 2 hysterical local comics, Becky Bronstein and Mohamed El-Sheki. They have been picked by Epix, which is a premium cable channel, who are trying to become like the new HBO, and they created a series. Wanda Sykes produced it, and it's called Unprotected Sets, and it's
Nice.
very very clever. It follows and documents comedians who are on the rise and coming up.
Yeah.
So this is going to be Mohamed and Becky's big taping. Karina Lucas is also a part of it. She's featuring.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I get to host it. So we're all getting TV credits.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's at Curious Comedy Theater, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday.
All right, Andie,
Yeah.
you seem to be doing a lot of work.
Very busy.